Well, this has been as good for me as it has for you, and I hope that you've been touched by these guys, man. You couldn't pay for that anywhere. It doesn't come that way. You know, God has been speaking through everybody that's gotten up here today, and I'm going home with a whole bunch of stuff to work with. My testimony's enriched, my spirit and heart enlarged, my commitment to do good improved. You know, I I had this speech all written up, and I can be pretty polished. I made my money on the stage, seminars for years. It was pretty smarmy business, get rich quick scheme stuff, and I'm not really proud of it, but at the time I believed in it, and too much money too fast. Success came really easy to me. I'd worked my way up through the channels faster than everybody, and then I wouldn't know how I got there, and so when they expected me to keep it up, I wouldn't know how to do it, couldn't duplicate it. Then the pressure would be on. Then I'd have to wing it more. I built empires like that just to watch them crumble 3 times. To success, too. At once, we had like 88 employees feeding their families, too, accelerated wealth. And that one happened outside of my ability to see. It was a finance case, and we were killing it, man. We sold like 490 homes, cash flow properties in less than 2 years. And it was honorable. The business was solid. But when we ran out of those, we brought another guy in, and I couldn't see further down. I didn't know how to vet very well, and all I cared about was that paper. Adolphus was real tight with me back then. We had a lot of fun in those days, huh, bud? All my friends had fun. We had a blast, but that's when it was good. And then somebody came into the picture that I didn't know, and I went down to their office, and it was this big, beautiful office, and I'm like, wow, and I was so blown away. And he says, yeah, we've got all these cash flow properties, and we're back in business. And he'd been selling them to people for 3 years already, same houses. And I didn't have the business sense or the ability to see down there because I was only good at my part, and I was running the whole show. I didn't learn how to involve people in the network of those important positions, and so I had to just trust people on the fly that were like me, and man, it came back to bite me. That one cost me 6 years. Blinded me, too. And that was after about almost 8 years out and quite a big taste of success. I went through, we're good. No, we're good. I went through the temple back then, and it was a great time in my life with my family. I really worked hard to get to that place, but again, I was just missing these pieces. Sorry. Can I get a tissue from somebody? Somebody got a tissue out there? I've been emotional today, man. Everybody's making me cry, and I got freaking thanks. I'm not scared, man. We handle this, you know? You don't want to watch my nose run. Let's do this. Woo! We good. Okay, so I'm going to just run you through a quick little, I'm going to leave that stuff alone right now. We're going to stop there. Let's get right into the nuts and bolts. Good things still need to happen. I'm here to share something with you that I think everybody needs. You definitely want it. You may not know you need it, but because it's yours already, it's what you bring to the table. It's the essence of your brilliance that brought you here. This is a group of people that are in their professional positions one way or another. We designed it that way on purpose. This wasn't for the public. We're not trying to move people right now. Those people are coming at us. Oh, we can go? Oh, just to the right or left? So, there's my technical skills. Still learning my phone. 18 months out. Here's the thing. We want to share with you this concept because we're inviting the whole world to be a part of it. And the only way to do it is to create the data markers that will eventually become curriculum. If you want to be teachers, then you find the smartest, most brilliant people in the world in their areas, and you all come together and you ask Heavenly Father to join the meeting, and you have faith that it will work because you have vision, because you're tied into that gift that everybody's promised if they live above their demons. Everybody. then you can do magic. You can actually do magic. You can get up through the channels that don't open for anybody. You might be incredible in your field, but do you sit back and wonder what it would be like to affect millions and not be famous? I'm not pitching Dallas Tall ever again. I'm pitching to Hueman, So Elephant. I'm pitching team. I need everybody, man. We have no competitors. There's no competition. We only have alliances. We don't have employees. We only have partners. Period. It's a huge pie. It's just our industry across the board. It's built from the bottom up instead of from the top down. Nonprofit entities, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do good in the world, and then we all fight so hard to get paid so we can do it, and it's ridiculous model. Does not work. And the work doesn't get done. We need hundreds of millions of dollars at our whim so we can actually move mountains. Does everybody agree with that? Yes. Am I blowing smoke? I'm serious. Like, are you feeling me on that? Like, really, do you want to actually leave a footprint that people can read about 200 years from now? Because there's some people, man, from the histories that I talk about and read about all the time. Scriptures, history of our world, 5 kings, all kinds of cool stuff that I dig. I'm into a whole bunch of stuff. Native American stuff has been huge for me lately because of some of my friends. I'm getting turned on to all kinds of stuff I didn't know. There's so many faiths and religions that I'm into right now because I'm so solid in mine. I'm so sure-footed in mine that I can actually venture out and check out a whole bunch of others, and I just keep on making mine better because of it. That's the key to everything. There's no competition with God or religion. He wants everybody to come home. It's our job to get us there. The only way to do that is to create formulas that can have data markers, that can have beacons of hope through GPS signals so people know how to do it tit for tat. And none of us by ourselves can do that. Nobody in this room. I don't care how smart you think you are, you can't do that. And those that have tried know this. I've done it. I've gotten to some pretty cool places on my own, but man, that messy cleanup. I came up in a really great family in Northern California, Paradise. It burned down in 2018. I've never been so thankful for a fire because it brought my wife to me and her son, Ben and Katie, and man, this family, the Fairbanks, whew, greatest people. They lost everything, man. My childhood letters that I wrote her when I was 5 went up in flames. She was my best friend all my life. Now she's my wife. We go to the temple October 12th. If I judged myself the way I used to, I wouldn't be worthy to go, and I wouldn't go. Look at that. That's 2011, man. That's when I was rolling 50 racks a week. Oh, yeah. Happy, clean. That was the day I went to the temple. Huh? Yeah, I was about 280, man, pushing about 500 on the bench and no roids. Sure, no roids. Anybody do that in here? Just wondering because I haven't met any yet. I'm in the 500 club in the prison, so say what you want, but there was a day when Big Dally did it. Knowledge, though. Oh, knowledge. Oh, there you are. He raised his hand. That's right. I love that you're here, knowledge. Oh, man. Years, man, over 2 decades, not guilty. And I mean, weathered the storm like a freaking beacon of hope for a lot of people, man. Hugged me every time I got to the yard. He had clout, man. Guys like Ryan, Nick Ringel, Knowledge, Dolphus Nickelberry. You get a hug from them when you hit the yard, you're good. I got a hug from all of them. I'd go from one to the next, times 40 or 50 of them when I got there because I helped my boys when I could, in or out. But I was so flawed that I couldn't carry all the way through so that they could truly change because I didn't truly change myself. So we kept having to revisit these difficult times, man. That last one, man, when you're staring at 6 Christmases and your boy's just going to high school, look at them little dudes. Smiles and Landon, they aren't here for a reason. They're hurt because their mom is one of my best friends I ever had, and she stuck by my side for a long time. I had to leave her because we were addicts together, and I kept on being the one that did the time. One time she handed me drugs when we got pulled over. I didn't know she had, and I took the hit, and it cost me 18 months. I didn't want my kids to lose their mom. That's 500 days, though. Call it what you want. That's what a man does regardless, though. Step up and handle it. I don't speak on that to disrespect that woman. That's the mother of my children. She saved my life 12 times. That's why I brought her here, because I'm bold and vulnerable. Because she got me to where I could have my wife now. She helped me figure it out long enough that I could figure it out for myself. And then God gave me another shot. Hooked me up too, boy. Hooked me up with my wife. I got it going on. This girl is amazing. Don't get me going on that. She'll be pissed. New Human was born of the Spirit of our Heavenly Father. It was called Universal Family. I was in prison. I got this idea in my head. How do we monetize these experiences and all these years we've done in prison? What can we do to make money so that my kids can think I did something with this? Because I talk to them all the time, but I'm starting to create this footprint, right? Because at some point, they recognize that their dad did what he had to do so he could be free and be safe and come home. And I wasn't going to make it there. It was painful. It was the biggest, hardest decision of my life. But I'm a man about that. Big losses for the biggest gain. My eternal happiness and joy. I need some more Kleenex, please. Somebody? Universal Family, man. I came up with this freaking idea in my head, and I was brainstorming it with Nick Ringle, and one day I threw it by Dr. Brevin Baugh, who's here. Where's Brevin at anyway? Is he in here? That's so funny. Our Dr. Brevin Baugh, wrongly convicted on a fake sex charge from an angry ex-wife, lost his entire practice, everything taken from him. Sex offenders aren't well liked in prison, man. They're treated bad, all of them. And I got to say, I'm guilty of that myself. I sat down and talked with Brevin one day, and he told me this never happened. He wasn't even on church probation because she'd played this game years earlier with the bishop and then recalled it because he did what she wanted. And so the church said no until this appeal's over. And so he hit this appeal, and when he told me a story, every hair on my arm stood up. I knew he was telling the truth. So I stood up for my dude, and for the next 2 years, I watched him heal the hardest criminals in that prison you ever saw. He's a true healer, clear to the marrow. He's magical, man. Then he won his case in the middle of freaking COVID, man. In the middle of the night, they announced it over the speakers. It was like Christmas, man. Reverend Baugh, because he got found not guilty, but they weren't letting him out. We're like, what? COVID had everybody locked down. It was so scary. We thought they were going to have martial law. It was trippy, man. Anything could happen, because if you're in prison, man, they're game to shoot you. They're not letting criminals out on the streets if things go bad. We know this. Utah's no joke. So when things like that happen, it's scary. Plus, it's intense and violent and angry, terrifying. And yet, we walk through it with the light. And yet, we walk through it with the Spirit, with God. And yet, we created the wealth of people in this incredible operation called New Human. I started involving my dudes. I started getting our brains wrapped around this. What can we do, man? What can we really do with these experiences if we really tie it in? Because these are smart people. Y'all heard Ryan. Devin Davis, just because he hasn't been in prison, he's one of us. Believe you me, that dude's been through it and through it. Take the time to get to know him, get involved in what he's got going on. It'll make your life better. Just do it. But he wouldn't be here if he hadn't been in the dirt. Believe it. You can't be here unless you've been through the refiner's fire. If you're 30, 40, 50 years old, then I'm pretty sure you have. That's for sure. And if you haven't and you're here, then that means that you're desiring to avoid that. I welcome you as well. So we started thinking of all these things, man, and we came up with all the linear lines, why people come back, man. People get out, right? The first 2 weeks, every color in the freak. You walk into Walmart, oh my gosh, these colors. You don't even know how to feel. Too many choices. You get anxiety. Oh shit, you can't even pick out the toothpaste. Honey, pick it for me. That's what I said. Just get it. Pick it. I'm serious. It's overwhelming. She remembers. We got out of there. We never even took the cart, Filled this thing up. I got to go. We were gone. Left the whole cart. Jules is like, okay. Followed me out. It was too much. That's true institutionalization, man. I got 18 years of my life in prison, adult life. Breathe that one in. Somehow had 6 kids, got 10 grandkids that still love me, parents that support me. They would all be here today, but my brother Clayton, who we've been working with for several days, disappeared. I know, he called me too. It's not good. No. He did call, and I was going there. We couldn't find him. This family, this is a point I'm trying to make, is the flag of addiction, what it does to people that are stuck from 25 years of being abused by their children, strung out and creating all these things. My parents are 90 and 87. My dad's got cancer. My mom just had a stroke. My brothers flew in, his sisters, and they're out looking for my brother because no one could find him. He went radio silent. He was supposed to be here. I don't need to know anything more. Period. It's my brother. He's not here. My family got alarmed. They aren't here. My mom ran out of energy after an hour and a half, and then I got a note saying, son, she can't even see out of her eye, man. This happened in Alaska a few weeks ago. She wasn't even walking. Somehow she's rolling around again. Oh, man, God is so good. I said, Mama, you guys are right where you're supposed to be. Find my brother. They did. This stuff's real. New Human has the solutions on every marker from 0 to 60. Believe it. It's software. All this stuff about the brain, all these things. That technology, well, we AI integrated with the world of mental health. We decided to switch things up with ex-cons like Derek Snell and people with brilliant minds in business like Travis Rigby and Mary Rigby and freaking Nick Ringle that have New Human Alaska booming, got their own boat starting in January with it's already going. Yeah, it's out now. I'll let him tell that story, but I'm just trying to tell you, New Human has 2 divisions fully engaged. Sending 2 more boys out in January, too. We'll have a full boat of Utah ex-cons. Why? Because they were the top 3. Top 3 boats in the whole 250 fleet from Utah, baby. New Humans, boys. Nick led that, baby, right there. 12 years, man. Been out how long, Nick? How long you been out? 8 months. How much money you got? 65 grand? Solution times 100, oil fields, the list goes on. We got jobs coming from every direction. Everyone wants to be a part of this. I'll give you an example. I went to Verizon Wireless. I threw a little pitch on a salesman. 2 days later, he had me up with the administrator. And 2 days later after that, I got a phone call from one of the directors. I said, I want 400 phones for free every month. Why? Because at 3 months, they got to work at our facility. At 3 months, they pay what everybody else pays. Somebody else is promising you 400 people a month. How many people come get their phones? All of them? Yep, we can work this out. We can even work a payment program until they get up to a point where they can pay in full. Who else says that? Doctors, dentists, everybody I talk to says yes. Why? If I promise you 10% of 400 people, that's 40 patients a month. If you get that in 2 months, you better hire another guy to handle it. I figured out how to use what they got coming to monetize it, baby. That's all coming our way. Does that make sense? 400 people, man, that need our help. 400 people that apply and get all of the social services that are available. 400 people that are attached to a system that will help them, but they don't have navigational tools to do it. They don't know how to access it. They don't know how to run a nonprofit at the bottom of a for-profit company so that they can attach it to the federal funding at the same time as making money to fund the operation. That's New Human. By the way, that's a delicate move. Find me too many companies doing it like that. It's a delicate move. We had to have brilliant people to make that happen. Brilliant. We're in touch with the director of the Board of Pardons. Jim Morse is one of our partners, business partners. He's out with Skinwalker Ranch, owns a lot of property. One of our favorite people. He put us in connection with the Patels. They own 70% of all the motels in the country. These particular guys, the father and son, Ocean, they came in and took a liking to what we're doing and gave us some goals. We hit them. A couple more goals. We hit them. They said, okay, we'll fund this, make this happen, make that happen. A couple months later, said, no, we'll just partner. These people have oil fields. They got freaking buildings going vertical. They wrote a check for $35 million for water rights because it made sense, but they will go to a more inexpensive restaurant to get the better deal. They wear jeans and regular t-shirts, man. They're Hindu. They follow the gospel of Jesus Christ better than I do, man. Believe you me, they're way better at the word of wisdom than I am. I got all kinds of faults still. These men are real, but they love this. They didn't just fund us, they joined us. That means we can go wherever we want if this makes sense, and that's why you're here. Does this make sense? Are there people here that have an idea, have a special gift that they have to offer? I'm looking at this brother right here. A killer example. Could be a headlight to so many things, but coming up through channels that are going to hold him up for 10 years to get where he deserves to be. Not under this umbrella. Under this umbrella, we have all the pieces together to promote everything as long as it's working. The formula works, we win. Period. Because the bodies are coming. The money was already there. We had to build our way up to the money. We went for the whales first, and they jumped in. And then they said, get this shit right before we can help you. And so we did. Tit for tat. Attorneys, 16 months. Hundreds of relationships. Adam Raines and Ben and Devin have closed deals for the greatest leads in the country for the most incredible digital batteries you ever knew. Derek Snell's putting together a finance program for inmates. First of its kind, really, because it attaches to a blueprint that will go up through channels and it will just continue to brighten and build their financial program. At the end of our year, 700 credit score, baby. I don't care if you start at 400. Derek Snell right there. Ex-con, independently wealthy, successful, but most importantly, impeccable credit. Impeccable. He could do anything he wants. And that's my partner. I got a whole bunch of guys like that, man, because I got shit credit. I need a whole bunch of guys with good credit to make this happen. This is the thing. I preach the gospel from a different place than a lot of people because I come from a different place. I've been up through some pretty hairy channels, and I have been empowered with some vision because I'm so committed to my flaws that it attaches me to the signals that embrace my gifts. And it's this little mechanism that I've learned and practiced by constantly checking myself throughout the day. The linear lines are what make the difference. I mean, God's in the details, just like the devil. God's way more in him than the devil, by the way. There's only a few things I can't do, man. Right? Moderation in all things. If you can't moderate, you can't do it. I'm not telling anybody, I'm not preaching abstinence to anybody here. Do what you do. As long as you can take care of your families, be honorable, love God, be friendly. The body of work is with God. He's going to ask you what you did for your brother. He's not going to ask you, you got a 30-year chip. If that's what you're going with, it ain't going to work. That ain't enough to get you into the kingdom. Believe that. You better be ready to give some service. You better be ready to make a difference. If you don't leave a footprint, you'll be making it somewhere less than you should have, because the goal is to do something that changes and creates an opportunity for people to grow and change forever. 200 years from now, what will they say about you when they read the books? What will they say? Seriously, like, what body of work do you want? When I did that to myself, I cringed 10 years ago. 5 years ago, I was still cringing. 18 months ago, I was too busy trying to get my brain out of being in prison to even start cringing. I was institutionalized. I was stuck in the house 4 hours of every day. My brain goes fast. My vision sees all the way through things. I can't help it. Not my fault. When I connect with God, can't be stopped. Won't be stopped. So I'm looking for a whole bunch of players, man, because we are already in position for this thing. This is a body of work for everybody. Absolutely. I'm answering that question for everyone in this room. I don't know what it means yet. Depends on if you're lying. Depends on if you act. Depends on if you take a look at yourself and see where you can improve right here and now. Because if you're doing shitty things, stop. Change today. Come on, man. I did. I changed this morning. I apologize when I need to, man. I need forgiveness all the time. A lot less with my wife now, though. I didn't know how to honor marriage many years ago. It's for a lot of reasons. I was never unfaithful first, but I was unfaithful last, which was the worst by far. Because I had a vindication and anger and hurt. Those things don't go away from either side. But when you go through the process of repentance and you truly decide that you want to make a difference, I met this friend that's been my lifelong friend as a woman now. In 2014, I'd had a little drug-induced heart attack in Salt Lake County Jail. The cops saved me, bless their hearts. It doesn't mean I like them. I just like him. Jules came to the rescue, man. We've been in touch ever since. She didn't advocate anything. She pushed me to finish and take care of my family. She pushed me to do everything I could to save my family, my children. She put herself on the outskirts. She's loved me since we were 5 years old, man. I kid you not. She's been sneaking out to my house when we were little babies. Middle of the night, we got busted several times. My dad caught her behind a tree. He went, "Julie, is that you?" "Uh-huh." It's 11:30. I'm over there going, "Crap, I'm busted." I'm not even worried about her. I'm like, "Oh, gosh, I get it." It's so funny. She was the good girl, man. So honorable, man. I never dishonored that girl once in my life. And she snuggled up next to me in my bed 1,000 times. I honored her virtue until just a little while back. I still honor it. She got me through this, man. God blessed me with the greatest person ever. He saved the best for last. I had to work real hard for it, though. I work every day for it. New Human is about the linear lines of change. It's about the GPS signals and the beacons of hope. It's about aligning with all the people that can cruise up through those channels. I wish you could get inside my head for a minute, know the people we know the relationships we've already built, be connected to. Your confidence would rise through the roof. You'd do everything you could to get involved with everything we're doing, I guarantee it. If you're about it. If you're not, thank you for coming anyway. Hopefully you get something. But if you're about it, if you could get in here, if you could know what we already have, what we have already, not what we're getting, not what we're going to have, what we have, then you would align. That's what you do. You realize that it's a collaboration. Maybe you've been working all this time for this. I know there's about 8 people. Raise your hand if you believe that in here, right? That's a lot of people, man. This is nothing about Dallas. This is a whole bunch about New Humans, about a whole bunch of people in here. Adam Raines with freaking Smart Optimize. How many people in here have integrated AI? With that? Yeah. Wow. How many haven't? So I'm not talking about ChatGPT coming up through the bottom and having something fix your poems and make them look pretty. That's not what I'm talking about. It's a great thing. I use it all the time for letters and editing and all those things. That's a great tool, but we're not talking about ChatGPT. We're talking about Smart Optimize. We're talking about Go High Level. We're talking about access to everything in the universe that there ever was, ever, in real time, brought down through human channels, and with the right group of people, with the blessings of our Heavenly Father, that tool can be used to blow doors. I mean, move through channels you would not believe. I don't have time to talk about all of it. You guys are going to have to get with Adam because I can't even get into it right now. I just need you to know that if you haven't integrated and you don't, it's on you, man. But I've integrated. I guarantee you, and I mean this with Smart Optimize directly. This has nothing to do with New Human in that sense. They are New Human's integration process. They will be all the way through. Same with Ben, Devin. All these guys are doing their own special things, their sauce for this thing, because there's a whole bunch of them. I'm just wondering what special sauce you guys are bringing to the table. Can't wait to find out. Looking forward to it, man. I know Mallory's got some great things she's bringing to the table. I've watched her change right in front of my face. I met her a few months back, and she said, I want to be a speaker. I want to get out. I want to push my book. I want to be the best speaker I can be. I'm not going to tell you what I said. I'll be embarrassed. But I said, you're a little chubby. What? New human, baby. Yeah. I also said, you're amazing. Your eyes can see through people. You're absolutely stunning and beautiful. And if you get a hold of your gifts and blessings, you will be all that. But some things got to change. She's in some turmoil, man. She's going through it right now. I'm not going to get into that. But believe you me, I know. Like Andrew, like some of our other friends, right? I know enough. Now, let me tell you, her body of work, that's what I pay attention to. I look at the body of work. If you don't practice that till you can, make a commitment today that you look at the body of work before you make a judgment on anybody. Give them what they got coming, man, so you can keep your blessings with you or you're hit, right? I really trust this process to work. If you guys integrate, if you get set up through the top down instead of the bottom up, then ChatGPT and the tools become, it's like steroids for you, but it's what it does for your life, calendaring your life. Think about your database. I'll give you an example. This is what I'll do. So car wash, say you go to a car wash. This guy's got a car wash. He's got 3 bays and a drive-through, and he's got maybe 120,000 people that he's run through there. You help him integrate. This guy's trying to advertise, right? He's trying to compete with the big boys. He's got a bunch of cool little things he's doing that he wants to market out. Knows nothing about avatar marketing, knows nothing about how to really connect with the viewer without bothering, without bugging, without being clicked out. Doesn't really know how to advertise up through the channels of his lead source and pull those down through a filtering process and re-access them so they make money all over again. Doing it a couple of times with those leads in different marketable places, not just one. This guy can use those same leads through that same filtering process every time he markets. 38% increase, send it. 18% increase? I don't know what your business is, but just think about that. Think about your data period. We're about to collect some curriculum, man. We're working with people clear up to the colleges. I've been talking with professors. I've been speaking to criminal justice programs at different universities. I just went with Mal the other day to do one too. Amazing. Got a lot of people paying attention right now. They understand what it takes to create curriculum that can be put into books, that can be taught up through channels. We're working with the systems right now on an application, new human application. Go up into all the tablets in the prisons. I've already got 2 county jails that are working with it, have agreed to do it as soon as we're ready to go. Bruce Hueman's working on that stuff. We're going to get this application. Imagine being able to go into the systems in real time with all of the stuff you have to educate prior to people getting out. Bing, bing, bing. Mentoring sessions, coaching sessions, therapy, finances. What's your poison? What's your idea? What do you want to become? Got you. Under that umbrella, it doesn't matter. I mean, just an unlimited library of potential there, especially if it's federally funded. Let that sink in for a minute. Because what happens when you have a formula and it works and then you have data and it becomes credentialed? You get funded by the federal government. That's why all the jails are full. That's why all the halfway houses, what's a freaking warehouse, man? The programs are dead. Ryan's working with some people that are trying to change that. But I'm telling you, they've been dead for years. There's been nothing. It's a freaking warehouse. They're building more jails too, and they got more property for the prison. That secures our job. If we try to go in from that angle, they will stomp us like a bug. If you upset the apple cart, I'm dead. They'll come up with a new charge, send me back to prison or something. Or some old one I didn't get hit on. I cannot point fingers. I cannot make people feel bad about a whole bunch of stuff that's broken in their system because it's really not. It's fixed. It's fixed in its broken state. It works perfectly for their funding. So the only way to do this is to create something that is in alignment with them that they can actually claim as their own. Let them take the credit. Involve them in the process. Say thank you. So one example. Every inmate gets out of prison gets $880 for rent, 1 month's rent. I'm just going to give you a little taste of why this works so you can take that home with you. Times 400. Let's do a little math in your head of these 400 people coming at me every month that all get that one check for $880. But it's real fickle how you can get to that money legally and have that present itself for some type of a treatment to coordinate it unless you're collecting data. No one has data on that money. 25 years. They don't know crap about that. 880 bucks times 400 or however many times hundreds of thousands by now. Imagine having those data markers to take back to them. Look what your 880 bucks did. Brought them into this facility. They go, saw our doctors, got their biochemistry, found out what they're allergic to, got the right supplements, the right diet and nutrition, got with our boys for their workouts, for their exercise. The best there is, the best at that right here. All their lives in the gym, man. They got the best of everything coming into our place. They're brothers that are already doing it. We're already on the path. They're just a little farther behind us all. They're right on the same path with us, right? But they're just following that GPS signal. And so is everybody else. That's the thing. We have them. They're trapped. They're trapped on that 400. Ryan brought the freaking Board of Pardons and some of the pre-release people out to Phoenix Rising. They're blown away by what this dude has done over there. If you haven't been to Phoenix Rising, call them up, take the time, go around. Don't cheat yourself, man. You want to see something running smooth? That's home. People say, I'm coming home. I'm home. Those places run sharp. That thing runs. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just took what Ryan built, and we're just implementing it over here and then adding our special sauce. His sober living community runs like a freaking machine. And that dude is freaking beautiful in it. I'm so much better at it now because of him. Serious. I just follow his lead, just like he follows mine. Just like I follow Devin's. Just like Ben follows Adam Rains's. Just like Chris Johnson. Well, we all follow Chris Johnson. I want you guys to take the time to meet with these guys, Devin, with Adam Rains, talk with these guys about what's going on with some of this stuff. I don't have the time to get into it. Don't cheat yourself without getting numbers at least. They'll send you some texts and emails, man. Get them. Be smart. This is for you. This got nothing to do with Dallas. You're not going to help me out. This doesn't make me rich today. I'm not here to make any money off anybody. This man's helped me to create a pattern and a pathway to make New Human beautiful fast. Because we've got all the pieces together. We built out before we built up. We were offered funding 6 months ago. We were offered funding 4 months ago from different places. We said, no, we didn't give up 1% of this company. We did it on our backs, front to back.
I love you, brother.
Yeah. So let me close out by saying that this is how important, that's Brevin Bob, by the way. He wasn't here when I started, when I brought him up. He does this to me a lot. I'll get to my important place and there's no Brevin. Dr. Ball right there, man. Let's give it. That's the guy that got out in the middle of the night, man. Won his case, I told you. Built his practice all the way back. He's our MD, done all the hours. It's our licensed doctor. Think about that freaking story from the penitentiary to being our prescriber, man, our healer. Everybody's a healer in this room, man. I really appreciate everybody for coming. I love you guys, man. I feel the spirit here, man. I really want you guys to take a look at New Human. Go deep. Talk to Derek Snell about his finance program. If you've got people connected, connect the dots before you leave. Get numbers. Connect with us. Get involved, because that's the way we make this work. I'm looking for a lot of people to align, and we're in the channel, man. We are in the channel. Thanks. Nick Ringo comes up right now. Sorry, everybody, crowd. It's my brain. That's my brain. Sorry. I apologize, Nick. This was in the program, man. I just spaced out. So listen, I'm just going to let Nick handle this, but I just want you to know that this is my dude, man. I swear, this guy, if I could tell you some things that he did for me that will, yeah, see ya.
Like you said, I'm Nick Ringle. Little backstory.
What?
Went in 1999, pretty much made a career of it, in and out. Suffered, put my family through hell. I guess what change happened for me, and I'll keep this nice and short and sweet, because this is the first time I've ever spoke in front of a crowd. Just did pretty much 12 years, been out 7 months, 8 months. Like Dallas said, we're hashing it out. How could we make a difference? And through the years, I was part of the cancer. I joined a prison gang. I rose to the top. Did everything negative at the cost of others, I guess, to look cool. The change for me, because we always say why, I guess the topic here is why. 2011, I fell asleep driving a car high. killed a lady, took her life, took something you could never get back. That was a turning point for me. I knew right then and there that if nothing changes, nothing's going to change. So I went to prison, cut all ties, and it was lonely. You know, when you're part of a gang, that's the people who you associate with, who support you, who pat you on the back. And I walked away from all that. But just like Dallas was saying, God works in mysterious ways, because I was at my lowest, and Ryan Evans comes back. He's traveling through court. I think he's going back and forth, but he ended up on Baker Block. And he let me know that my true friends aren't gonna turn their back on me. I don't know if you remember that, Ryan, when you came back, but through court transfer, standing in the hallway, and I told you I quit, and you were still there. I appreciate that. And then always will be. I appreciate that. So fast forward, I don't know, 7 years later, I run into Dallas, and he's talking about this new human. And he asked me, why do I feel, or what is the biggest obstacle I see when people come in and out since I've been down 12 years? I said they can't find gainful employment. There's nothing for them, nowhere to turn. And in between that time, my best friend Travis Rigby and his wife, they're commercial fishermen out in Petersburg, Alaska. They offered me a job. So I was all in. So we took New Human. We opened those doors. There's 250 boats, I think, on the water right now. My friend Travis he worked for 13 years as a deckhand, and right now he got his first boat. He's a captain right now. He's in Dutch Harbor. I'll be there on the 15th. I fly back out to Petersburg on the 10th. By the 15th, I'll be fishing again. But yes, and New Humans are going to be there. So, like I said, I am not good at speaking. I enjoyed the time. I don't know. Thanks to everybody for being here, I guess.